Is up, everybody? I am about to turn in for the night, but I keep seeing these reoccurring types of topics come in, and sometimes I just feel compelled to do a live stream because it's just easier and it saves memory on my phone. So, I have heard a number of men recently get on the mic and talk about Black women and hair extensions. And obviously, many Black men, and even men in general, they don't like hair extensions, right? That's something that they're not interested in. And hey, I respect everybody for their preference, right? I don't like really fat, overweight men. I don't like men who are balding and could possibly use some hair extensions. I don't like angry men in character, right? And see, to me, hair extensions is the least of a Black man's problem when it comes to a woman. And so this dude had this video up and he had a lineup of different looking Black women. Some of them looked professional, none of them looked hood, right? And for some reason, there seems to be this need to associate hair extensions with hood behaviors, idealisms, when really, when you think about the history of hair extensions beyond Black women, you're going to see that even the American founding fathers, these white men, they wore wigs. And I said this in another video and in a post. Why were these white men in America, these white men in power, why were they wearing wigs? Was it a fashion sense? Or was it that maybe they had some kind of insecurity about their hair that they didn't like, right? Nevertheless, the founding fathers of America wore wigs, and several other men were wearing wigs. And it just seems like to me, and I've gotten this insult. I have this one guy. I find that when certain people can't get with a point that is being made, they automatically just go to insults because that's kind of their way of coping with the fact that they can't intelligently address the point that they don't agree with. And so a lot of times when they see Black women talking and they can't get with the point or they can't argue their point, they'll automatically go to hair extensions. Oh, you got hair extensions or some things. And I think that some of these men think that, certain insults about people have the same weight as it did before. It's like, a non-Black person calling a Black person the N-word. It really doesn't have the same weight. For some ignorant people, it does. But I think for reasonable people, it really don't. So when an ignorant person comes to a reasonable person who's making a legitimate point about something and they automatically go to ad hominem attacks, to me, it's like, your issue is beyond what I am doing with my hair, right? And that's how I approach anybody. When you want to go to insults, when there's debating, it's like your issues are deeper rooted than this debate. And we need to talk about that. So this guy is all upset because Black women are wearing hair extensions like we haven't been wearing it for eons. And I don't think Black women are asking Black men to embrace hair extensions at this point. We really just don't care. And this is not to throw shade upon any Black man, but you gotta be a beta bitch man to even be so infuriated. There's so many struggles and conflicts in life. Why the hell are you bitching about what a woman is doing with her hair? And like I said, what's really interesting to me is that these men would, these same dudes, these same idiotic men would question a woman who's wearing a wig or a hair weave, right? But in the same breath, they were like, oh, now that sister's fine because she's wearing horsehair braided to her hair or locked up in her hair. And somehow she is more Afrocentric than a woman that just wants to wear a straight wig or weave. Can somebody make that make sense for me? These men are straight contradictions. A lot of these people, these women, some of them aren't even wearing straight locks. They're wearing pieces. They're wearing attachments as well. Even these men. I mean, I've seen so many tutorials and little how-to videos with these men who are wearing pieces for their locks. And to me, my thing is in the age of men like Drake possibly even wearing hair pieces, it's like, why is this even an insult that people think, oh, wait, why do even black men think that they own black women to the degree that they can tell us how to wear our hair? Go find yourself an Afrocentric woman who is all good with her nappy roots and watch you cheat on that same woman with a hairpiece. See, some of these dudes are contradictory to me, right? They'll sit there and they'll want their woman all nappy headed or Afrocentric looking or whatever like that so that she's not, quote, desirable. And then they're like, you guys don't like your hair. You hate your hair, but you're cheating on her with a woman with a hairpiece or a weave in her hair. These men are contradictory to me. My whole thing is, you know, you don't have to date a black woman that wears hair extensions, even though women beyond black women wear hair extensions. You don't have to do that. If that is not your preference, you don't have to do that, right? Because I'm sure that there's something wrong about you that a woman could have grievance with. And then that could be bigger than her wearing hair extensions because, again, you can always wear your natural hair in some style. But then with some of these men, it's like, well, what are you going to do about what I don't like about you? I stopped wearing hair pieces. Okay, good. Check. Now, what about your fat ass? What about your half bald ass? And some of these dudes got Bobo the Clown. And you sitting up there talking about a woman wearing a hairpiece. Some of you need a hairpiece or just cut all your hair off. But it's just one of those things where I'm not trying to be funny, but I just think that in America, I feel like people are expecting too much African in Black American women. And then and that's where some of the conversations, even among some of our FBA type of people, it becomes contradictory because it's like we're foundational Black Americans. You know, our ancestry is rooted in America. We've gone through all these things in America, right? Okay, but we've also been in America as our environment. And to me, the only people that should be expecting their women not to wear European styles are those that don't hail from European type ancestries and environments. FBAs, whether we want to admit it or not, we have been heavily immersed in European cultures. So it's kind of illogical for Black men to expect for their westernized women to be running around with some Timbuktu braids. It's just weird for me. We want what God want, and a lot of women have what God gave them. But a lot of women don't want to manage what God gave them every freaking day as they're trying to go out here and hustle and bustle. So you guys want what God gave you, but the corporate spaces say that we'll make more money if we kind of change it up a little bit and do something different. And I'm sorry, I'm not saying that all Afrocentric styles are bad, but I just don't really care for them. And that's just me being super Americanized and not Afrocentric. I am not Afrocentric. And I think that's the conflation that some Black looking people have, is that we're all Afrocentric. And if you can concede that there are different flavors of Black people in America, then you should concede that there's going to be different flavors of Black women in America. And some of us are going to be running around with our nappy roots, our kinky hair, and some of us are going to be flexing a press style or an extension or something. But regardless, we're going to look fly with it. So what the hell are you bitching about? That's laziness. I don't care. I really don't care what a Black man feels about how a Black woman in America wants to maintain her hair. All right. I really don't care. I really don't care. I think like the biggest turnoff for me about some of my Black American men is this requirement of women to wear their natural hair. And again, I think it's contradictory when you sit up there and you gloat over a woman who's wearing braids and locks filled with horse hair as an attachment, and you would say, well, she's Afrocentric. Look at this beautiful queen. Like, my dude, all right, let's keep it all the way 100. Our braids don't go all the way down to our ass. They're still wearing weaves, but the Afrocentric style is less triggering for some of you guys. And again, you know, everybody has a right to have their own style, right? I'm not going to tell a dude, like, I don't want you to wear dreadlocks. I'm not going to tell a dude that I prefer you to wear a bald fade, right? I'm going to take that brother as he is. So if I get his ass with locks, that means that I accept his ass with locks, right? I can't sit up there and say, well, locks really isn't my preference. It's like, well, if it wasn't, I shouldn't have been talking to him in the first place. And I just can't stand when Black men want to conflate women wearing hair extensions and pieces with some kind of hood ratchet lifestyle. It's like what is the excuse before these projections of the Black culture were popular? Because I'm sorry, in the 50s and 60s, we didn't have hood or ratchet, but we still had bras wearing wigs. And they were still doing their hair in European style. So y'all brothers, listen, I'm not telling you what to like, right? You are entitled to like what you want. I just know that you're not going to like me, and I'm okay with that. And you got to be okay with not liking me either, right? Because I'm not going to be your type. I'm not going to be your type. And I think, you know, if we're all reasonable about this, we won't have to run around insulting each other. You don't have to follow me. You don't have to follow me. You're the representation of that man. Well, I don't care. I mean, what do you, I mean, I guess pick a struggle here, because I'm talking about women wearing hair extensions and how we don't care if certain men, you know, don't want us to wear them. And my argument is that we're not for you. We're not for you. And you're like, well, that's taking a masculine approach. How? Like, you go find a woman with the hair type that you want and stop worrying about how other women are wearing their hair. They're not for you. So why are you worried? This is bitch behavior. Like, you're talking about me acting like a man, but you're acting like a bitch right now, because it's illogical in my mind for a man to say that they don't like women wearing hair extensions. It's like, okay, then don't have a woman with them. But why are you worried about women that are not yours? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. It's not your business, because all Black women are not yours. Now, and this is another thing, I feel like there's some weird ownership that some Black men have over Black women. They're not yours. Some of y'all don't even deserve us. So I'm not sure where, you know, you guys feel like we're yours. We're not. Some of you can't even afford to be with us. Some of you can't even be protectors to us. Some of us don't want to be yours, because there wouldn't be any quality of life to have. And I do find that it'd be the lowest denominator Black looking men who be having these exaggerated insecurities and preferences about what a Black woman should be and look like. It's like, my bro, what are you? What are you? Like, Like, what are you? Like, I mean, a lot of these dudes, they got mad demands, and it's like, how long have you been invested in your 401k? For real. How long do you match it? Do you max it out? Right? Let's talk about that. You talking about some hair weave, and a lot of these women's got multiple brokerage accounts handling their business with all that hair weave in their head, and you sitting up there looking like upset. And I mean, I think a lot of this too is we got to talk about. I know, like I said, that Black women a lot of times in America have been elevated above Black men, and I do think that for some Black men, that creates an internal jealousy in them. And because some men are just naturally on lower frequencies because they truly are low motivation, and I'm not saying all, notice I said some, right? These are the ones that usually have the most to say about a woman. It'd be these low frequency Black men. And these are the ones where they're like, you should give these guys a chance and build up a Black man. And it's like, excuse me, did you hear what Frederick Douglass said? We got to get our Black people our Black men when they're boys, right? You cannot do anything to adjust a man once he's a man. And I think that's what we got going on here is that we do have a lot of low value Black men in the community. And, you know, we have enabled these men in so many different ways. Women have given them the vagina, right? So they ain't got to work for too much of anything, right? But then these lower value men, they tend to think that they can tell, you know, a woman who has achieved a degree, financial licenses, insurance licenses, raise kids, how to wear her hair. It's like, bro, I think what it is that a lot of you dudes don't feel like your women need you. And so you got to have a lower frequency point. And that's why you guys are so stuck on the hair weave stuff. It's all you got a lot of times when you need to bring a woman on a lower frequency. It's like, we hate your hair. It's like, bro, if you really understood that a lot of us don't care about that, and that's why we keep doing our hair the way that we want to, it's like, just, I don't like that energy. I don't care for that energy. Like, anybody new to my channel, they know I don't prescribe to idealisms of Blackness. I don't subscribe to idealisms of who I should be in this society. So if I want to wear my hair pink and yellow tomorrow or whatever, I don't care about what a man that is not mine, what he thinks about that. Like, why should I care about that? I just really need to know. Like, I mean, it's just kind of weird to me. It's like, and I don't understand why a man would want a woman who doesn't belong to him to care about what he thinks about her hair. It's like, if you want this woman, why don't you prove that you can be a man to her, and maybe she'll make adjustments based off of the fact that she thinks you're worthy. But it'd be like these low denominator, unworthy men out here asking women to make adjustments about themselves. It's like, dude, if you don't focus on yourself and getting yourself all the way right first before you start bitching about what's on the top of somebody's head, it would be a better benefit for you. Like, that's all I'm saying. And, you know, here's the thing. I feel like that has been like, I was looking at this brother, and I wish I could have found the blog, or because he was talking about Black women dating white men. And, you know, I have made comments about interracial dating before, and, you know, and I can see multiple sides of the argument, right? Where there are a lot of foundational Black Americans. They're like, we got to marry within ourselves because it's about the bloodlines and keeping the legacy. of our people going and the delineation of our people, because we're kind of being replaced right now with some of these folks that look like us, right? I can see like, that argument, right? But then there's just this other side of the argument where I don't think Black men realize how much they push Black women to white men. I don't think Black men really realize by their characters, their mindsets, their intimidation, and even jealousy, some of them, of Black women, how they push them to white men. A lot of them is like, oh, you're running to Zaddy. It's like a lot of them, yeah, they are running to Zaddy. They're running away from your toxic ass. They're literally taking a risk. It's like, it's like a toss up, the best of the worst. Deal with this dude, or deal with this dude, right? And, obviously there's a lot of sisters who have saw the pro and con of going outside of the Black race, but I've seen a lot of sisters who are happily married and, they're not worried about, what their man thinks about their hair, because he's just kind of like, I'll take you anyway, you like to, you are. So every man is different. I personally, because I keep seeing this comment over and over again, me personally, I'm a Black American woman. And for me, Black American means that you have been removed from African cultures and customs and styles. And if you choose to immerse yourself in those things, hey, that's your own accord. But I'm very much Americanized. I'm very much Westernized. And if I want to press my hair, add an extension in my hair, I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to care about what any other man other than the one that I'm sleeping with and who owns me think about that, right? And that's just me personally. So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. I can't be a rebellious Black woman, honey. Who am I rebelling against? You're not my man. See, this is the disconnect. If you were my man, right, then this would be a different conversation, but you're not my man, right? Like, I don't have to listen to any Black man that is not mine. And this is where a lot of these Black, y'all got to get it together with that. Y'all need to focus on y'all women. Stop worrying about what other women that don't belong to you are doing. Like, stop worrying about it. It's none of your business, right? You're calling me rebellious, and I'm like, how am I rebellious? You're not even my man. If my man said, I don't like your hair like this, I don't like this about you, or whatever like that, that's a conversation that we would have, right? But like some stranger talking about, you're rebellious because you don't care that some Black men don't like hair extensions. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? No disrespect, but just what are you talking about? Like, it's nonsensical to me. Be how you want to be. Embrace your own individualism, right? And if that means that you run around looking like Jay-Z and Basquiat, go ahead and do that, right? Looking like Lauryn Hill, that's fine, right? You could do that. Or if you want to look like Beyonce and do that too, right? Because guess what, ladies? While you running around with your nappy head around the house, he's cheating on you with a woman with a weave. So don't buy into all this BS from some of these guys, because they will cheat on you with some of these very broads that are wearing the extensions and weave that they claim that they hate. I don't trust these dudes. I really don't. Y'all talking about comply and be obedient and you're rebellious. I don't trust you. I don't trust you. Some of you are untrustworthy. You're not worthy leaders, and you have the nerve to make demands. Like, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. And if I don't trust you, then it's like your opinion about what my hair looks like today, Is it relevant? And I'm not trying to be rude, but I think people need to really be practical about things. You know, if you are not my man, it is not my job to care about what you think about how I choose to wear my hair. And even if you were my man, you would have been absorbing me with all kinds of different hairstyles. So the expectation would be that you wouldn't be bitching about it, right? Because you wouldn't have absorbed me with that type of hairstyle if you had a problem with it, right? So, I mean, this is logical, my friend. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to you. I am not trying to be disrespectful to you, but you need to worry about what you like. Like, I'm not what you like. I'm not your type, right? Because I'm going to choose to wear my hair the way I want to. And it's not going to be aligned with your preferences, right? You know, and I'm not being disrespectful to you. You know, I'm being logical to you. You know, you're being superimposing right now, if anything, because, you know, obviously you expect for Black American women to conform to African hairstyles. And it's like, I'm not African. My mom never even let me wear beads when I hated beads and braids. Like, I mean, I just started doing my daughter's hair in beads just because my daughter, like, we do have long hair in my family. And so my middle child, her hair is just this big old mane and it goes down to her butt. And I don't like doing her hair. Like, she don't like getting her hair done. She's tender headed. So her hair is in braids right now. And I just beaded them to lock, just put a few beads to lock them, but it's not like that head full of tragedy beads that you see all the little kids wearing in the hood. Like, I hate those. I hate all of those beads, like the Serena Williams. I would never do that to my daughter. But she has very neutral color or tone colors, and it's only like a few here and there. But I don't like Afrocentric styles for myself personally. I actually had this girl do some Cuban twist for me. She started doing it and stuff started getting so damn heavy just halfway through. I'm like, stop doing this. I don't want it. I'll pay you for what you did. I appreciate you. I don't want this style. Because I couldn't even imagine myself going to bed with all that shit in my hair. Props to the ladies who do that. I don't like that stuff. It's just so heavy. I don't like it at all. I don't like cornrows. I think those are ugly. So yeah, I wear my hair how I want to wear it. Your daughter have pretty natural hair. Thanks, Mom. Yeah, she has gorgeous hair. She, like, all my kids have gorgeous hair. They all have like big old afros. I don't know if you see it, but all my kids have big, big afros, and they draw up. We have manes in my hair in my family. My hair is more like my middle daughter's, where it just literally caps like right here, and then it won't grow any longer than that, but it's like really thick. But I want my hair to look like Rapunzel sometime. So, you know, everybody has their styles, right? Everybody has their styles. So it just, you know, like Beyonce has proven to us that, you know, you can have your natural hair and still flex styles that, you know, are beyond your natural hair. And that's cool. I mean, shit, I don't think that little troll looking thing that Jay-Z got going on is his hair. I really do think that Jay-Z is wearing a hairpiece. I feel like that's a hairpiece on Jay-Z's hair, right? Y'all brothers need to be talking about some of these brothers wearing these hairpieces. Y'all not talking about Drake. I get it. You don't want to bang Drake, but still. Y'all brothers out here wearing hairpieces too. So stop playing. I mean, but you know what though? I feel like a lot of Black people have good grades of hair. It's just that the manageability, we have become lazy. where, certain hairstyles are just a convenience factor. And for me personally, I don't like to, I'm more of a naturalist. Like, even down to makeup, I'm trying to get away from wearing makeup. So it's like I don't like putting chemicals in my hair. So if I want to wear like a hair color, I'm going to wear an extension before I sit there and dye my hair and bleach my own personal hair a color that I want to achieve. I'm just going to go out there and buy a weave, and I'm going to protect my own hair. So everybody are wearing wigs and hair pieces for a reason. So I just don't feel like, I feel like it's a moot point in 2024 for black men to still, some black men, I don't want to pigeonhole my brothers or generalize all of them, but for some men to be, in America, like I can see if this is Nigeria or some African country, you know what I mean? Where, because I did see some Nigerians. I was looking at some guy commenting on the Miss Nigeria competition. And he was like, is this the Miss Asia and European competition? Because all the women in Nigeria had the long, straight European hair. And I'm like, wow, they look beautiful. But, I can see if this is Nigeria, but this is not Nigeria. This is America. This is America. Of all the black looking women in the world, black American women, and even black European folks, right? Women, we should be the only ones that nobody should be bothering us, because our cultures are heavily immersed with Western European culture. It's an environmental thing, for real. Like, don't blame us. Like, but again, most black men hate it. I know most black men hate wigs and weaves, my friend. I know they do. But what I'm telling you is that they have to concede to the fact that a lot of black women are not going to care. A lot of black women are not going to care. Like, and we're just not going to care. And honestly, it's not about rebellion. It's about choice and preference. You have to align yourself with a black woman that doesn't wear weaves or wigs. That's just not going to be me. Because if I want to do it, I'm going to do it. And my assumption is that any man that aligns with me is knowing that I'm doing it, and it's like not problematic for him, and he's still kind of going the distance being with me. So I kind of play it like that. I'm not for everybody. I'm not. Do you know your natural hair is the really term black men on? No, black men are turned on by vaginas. Vaginas doesn't have a hair type. Well, it probably does, but let's just keep it a buck. They don't really care about your hair. They really care about what's between your legs. If you don't care, we don't care. That's the disconnect. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my thing is, but I feel like my whole thing is, do you have a black woman? Like, do you have a woman right now? Like, I'm just trying to, I guess I'm trying to understand, do you have a woman? And does she wear her natural hair? Because if you do, then you are all taken care of, and you shouldn't really be worried about what any other woman is doing in the first place. And I don't know about the natural hair smell, because honestly, depending on the person and their hygiene, that could be very subjective too. Again, it's all about hygiene and maintenance. And even with maintenance, there's still the dryness of the hair. There's so much to think about. Like, I don't know, like with my genetic makeup, for some reason, I'll be 42 and soon. And I feel like with my genetic makeup, it's like I got oil, all of the oil in my face and all the dryness in my hair. It's crazy. It's crazy. But anyways, you guys, let me get my butt to sleep, because I got to get up really early to get my kids up. And the good thing about beads and braids, I will say, it's a convenience factor. it is a convenience factor because I don't have to keep doing my daughter's hair every day. We can just get up, make sure her edges are, pretty good. She doesn't have bad edges. My kids are like, their dad is half Korean. And, so it's like, I think they're just pulling from all nationalities here. Um, and so they just look interesting. They have different hair types. Like my son, he has more of a finer hair type. And so his afro looks different than my daughter's, who has that. It's like a curly, nappy roots. And so it's interesting how they took after the ethnicities in the family. My wife has a certain hair has a certain smell. Is she a naturalist? Because if she doesn't use a lot of perfumed, um, like solutions, like I get my stuff from, well, I do get my, products from Black people because I just feel like we know how to care for our skin better. And I noticed that some of the natural products, they may seem like they smell funny because they're drawing from the natural, things that they're made from. Um, in the beginning, they may seem like they smell weird, but they really don't. Like they're just pulling from like whatever natural ingredients they're pulling from. Um, and I had to get used to that when I started getting rid of high fragrance things. Um, yeah, I would recommend tea tree deodorants, like as much as you can, at least for my Black looking folks. Go to the oldest Black woman or Black person that you know and get your hygiene products from them. Do not, like, I don't buy my hygiene products over the counter at all. Just find an old, rooted Black person and get them from them. Get them from them. You're going to notice that they're not going to be high fragrance. And you're going to be like, wow, this is like, you'll get used to it and the fragrances become more aromatic for you. But go to our people. Go to our people because I started detoxing my skin from makeup. And I do wear makeup, but like when I'm doing business meetings or something like that. But I'm trying to stay away from wearing makeup at all costs if I can afford it. And just doing that and detoxing my skin, it's like still pulling out some of the stuff. But it looks rough right now. But and plus my hormones. But I'm telling you, like I see patches of the clearing and the smoothness. Get some of your people's products. I realize we personally, we cannot use a lot of the products that everybody else use, no matter what they say. It's not for everybody. Our skin is more sensitive than what they like to project. So anyways, you guys, let me take my butt to sleep. Thanks for hanging out with me, Anthony. Love FBA 99. All love. All love. I respect my Black men. And respect for my Black men doesn't mean that I have to conform my character and being to how they want me to be, right? But if there's that one particular Black man that just is king and it's like, damn, I gotta wash your feet, you are worthy. You're right. There's certain men that just deserve respect. They deserve, to say, you know what, take that wig off, right? And they'll make you feel beautiful or however you want to feel, regardless of all that stuff. So maybe Black men need to do a better job of making their Black women feel beautiful, and maybe won't have to do anything extra, that you may not like. So you guys have a good day, and I will catch you on the next one. I don't want to mention. I'm not going to talk about. There are some black men grifters on YouTube, and I just feel sorry for the black men who buy into the talking points of these men. And the only thing that I will tell you guys, and I am a licensed financial advisor, multiple states, fully licensed in insurance too. Don't take financial advice from these guys. Do not take financial advice from these guys. Some of these people are scammers, man. Like they're scammers, and I understand why black people don't trust each other because of some of these clowns. If somebody gives you personal financial advice and they're not your advisor, it wouldn't hurt just to go and talk to a financial advisor, because a lot of times we're not going to tell you what you should do if you're not one of our clients, right? But we will kind of give you the right red flags that somebody might be selling you a Ponzi scheme, or we can at least give you some education on the risk of a certain strategy that somebody might be pushing out to you, because some of these things that some of these people are saying on YouTube, it has a flair, a bandwagon flair to it, if you will. But a lot of these strategies are so risky. And I had a guy buy into one of these strategies, and options trading, you guys, I'm just going to say that, I'm not making any type of recommendations, but you have to be in the position to be able to do that. That is a very speculative strategy, and don't let a YouTuber tell you that it does not come without a lot of risk. So you guys have a good night. Peace to you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.